And we are live once again with the Flare Forge week. We have had an amazing week with a lot of interesting things for developers. And as you can see here on the screen, this is sort of, the different activities that we have had on a daily basis. We have live streams every single day until this Friday, the 25th of July. On Monday, we studied how we can build a crowdfunding decentralized application utilizing the Flare FTSO. Uh, Yesterday, we had an interesting session with our friends from Gold Sky, and we explored subgraphs and mirror pipelines on Flare. I would 100% recommend you to check it out if you're just, getting started with indexing and you need to manipulate data effectively in your decentralized application. And today, I would say, is probably one of the main days. Why? Because we have Kristaps with us covering one topic that everybody wants to know more about, right? And that is FAssets. In particular, correct me if I'm wrong, Kristaps, today we're going to explore how to redeem FXRP back to XRP.
Yeah, that is totally correct. And I want to note, first of all, hi everyone, and thank you for having me. And one note is that after this session, if you haven't watched, I highly encourage to watch previous webinar, which we had about minting, how you can go from XRP to F assets. So this is basically continuation of that, but it's not a limitation. Like you can learn these topics separately.
Right. You can learn each one of them, but at the end of the day, if you're building a decentralized application that is utilizing F assets, then of course you have to go first through the process of minting and then, implementing at some point the redeeming part. So probably what you want to do if you're serious about this is watch both of these sessions. Am I correct?
Yes and no. Actually, if you are building application where you're going, let's say, from other asset to XRP and you're using F asset system on Flare, then you actually care mostly only about redemption. So it's
Uh-huh.
what route you're selecting. But of course,
Uh-huh.
mostly we believe that people will unlock value with XRP, minting. But sky is the limit, here. Like we
Uh,
provide the tools and you can build what's your imagination.
yeah, absolutely. That's the reason we want to have like this kind of workshop with like different, let's say, pieces, and then you guys can put all of that together. So okay, I think that I'm all set. You know guys already that I'm gonna ask you to reshare this if you're on X. Obviously make sure to follow, and if you have any questions, this is your moment. We're gonna have a Q&A session at the end this time. And Kristaps, are you ready?
Yeah, let's get it started.
All right, let's do this. So you can share your screen. I'm gonna bring it up to stage, and there we
Okay,
are.
seems that it is working. So hi everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you, Victor, for organizing this workshop and whole week. I think it has been a blast. Lots of content. Even if you are watching later, like it doesn't matter. Like it's timeless content that you can use even later. But today we're talking about redemption with F assets. So basically going from F assets to original asset, which is XRP on XRP Ledger. And we will talk in this presentation shortly about mm, the steps, technicalities, and also we will check out a small code sample. But don't worry, all the code is on our Dev Hub, so you can follow along this presentation and check the code later. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session, and there will be small surprise. There will be QR code, which you could scan, answer a quiz, and then next week some of our team members will let you know if you have been a lucky winner. So you can get some nice Flare merch. But stay till the end, then we will share the QR code. Not yet. So today's agenda is following. We will talk what are FAssets, and as I explained a couple of minutes ago, we had previous session about FAssets on minting. There we actually went a bit deeper into what are FAssets and how it works. Here today we will have just a short refresher. Then we will see the live demo, small summary, and then there will be Q&A portion where you could ask any of your questions on all the platforms, and we will try to answer those questions. So let's get started. So what are FAssets? In short, FAssets are synthetic ERC20 representation of, in this case, XRP, but basically any non-smart contract tokens. We started with XRP, but we have tested also Doge and BTC, and we're looking into other assets, but we're starting with XRP, which is a huge asset class, which is basically sitting and waiting. Of course, the price is now lately is growing, but you could put it in even more interesting solutions. And FAssets is basically enabler on Flare network, which you can bridge XRP to Flare network, use in DeFi applications, but it's not a limitation Flare network. With other tools like Layer 0 and so forth, even swapping to other assets you can use in other chains. So yeah, I think it's great opportunity, and applications are growing. They are coming soon, staking and more. So, but in short, FAssets, it's ERC20 token, so you can develop on top of that. It's well-known standard for token representation. All the wallets support that, so it's easy to integrate. And why FAssets? So the main reason is that XRP cannot be used in smart contracts on DeFi. There have been some tries here and there, but we believe that FAssets is truly trustless, bridging XRP. There's no central institution who is like overseeing or locking that. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. And you can actually unlock liquidity. Otherwise, XRP, you just rely on token growth. And for developers, you can build applications. So basically, you can program on top of XRP. And today, we will talk more how you can go back from FAssets to XRP. But route isn't just XRP to FAssets. It can you can swap to other tokens as well and other assets. And yeah, like ERC20, it's compatible with any EVM chain, basically. So, like I said, sky's the limit here. And if we talk about redemption, like previous time, we talked about minting. Minting is when you have XRP, you get Flare assets XRP, in short, FXRP. And redemption is the only trustless way how you can convert back to FXRP to, let's say, real XRP on XRP ledger assets. And basically, it ensures that you have one-to-one conversion rate, and it's maintaining the real XRP value. So you're not losing anything, even in price swings. And redemption process is following from developer perspective. Previous time we talked about asset manager. For each asset, let's say in this example for XRP, we have asset manager, and there are a bunch of functions. You can get settings, you can mint, you can do other type of things like check what are the agents who can mint for you and so forth. And here in redemption, you need to call redeem function on asset manager. There is interface, and don't worry, we'll check briefly the code in a minute. And in redemption process, you need to specify how many lots you want to redeem. You might ask, what are lots? Lots are basically assets are divided in portions. It's just easier to work with. And in XRP case, that is 10 XRP. One is one lot. So after you know that you want, for instance, you want to redeem one lot, then those FAssets are being burned. So that is ERC20 token. So it's not, how to say, eligible anymore because you get back the XRP on XRP ledger chain. And to do that, system selects either one agent or multiple agents. If you redeem significantly a huge amount of lots, then it can happen that one agent doesn't back so many lots. So that is split to multiple agents. And then agent or multiple agents send funds to, and that is XRP. That is now that is an underlying chain. So remember, we're going from Flare to XRP. To the redeemer, and the redeemer here is basically the user who initiated this redemption process. And lastly, user, agent, or executor. We will talk briefly about executor. Proves that this payment has happened on XRP, and that is being done using Flare data connector. So Flare data connector we have explained in previous these webinar series. That is system that you can attest that this payment on XRP ledger has happened, and that is by calling execute redemption. So this is the flow. You call redeem on asset manager contract. You specify how many lots. System selects the agent. You don't need to do that. Then the agent or agents send the funds to the redeemer, and yeah, if everything is correct, the payment has happened on XRP chain. Execute redemption function is being called, providing the proof. And that's it. You get back your XRP as it was before. Before you minted. And briefly about executor. So that is a very interesting role, especially in redemption. It can be a wallet, a bot, application, decentralized application that acts behalf of you. So basically, it monitors these redemptions, and it is incentivized. So you need to provide a small fee to do that, unless you are controlling. If it's decentralized application and you're using FAssets to redeem back to XRP, then you can do on behalf of user, and either you can use FAssets to take the fee or in your decentralized application. So basically, it then executes the redemption, providing the payment proof using the Flare data connector, payment on XRP ledger. And like I said, it can earn some fees on top of that. So it is a little helper, and also user doesn't need to worry about these payments. If everything has happened, if agent has provided the payment, executor can do behalf of that. And this is actually one big building block for decentralized applications that you're building on top of FAssets. And there are some fees involved on top of gas fees, which is quite quite little on Flare chain. There are two main fees. That one is redemption fee, so that is paid in underlying asset, which is XRP. So this is how agents are incentivized to participate. That is set by governance. All these values are already defined. You can either use asset manager to get these settings, or we have also available on our developer hub. And that is actually needed to, to make agents to participate in this system. And secondly, if you opt in with executor, then there can be executor fee that is, provided to the executor for their extra work, for their monitoring, for providing the proof, for interacting with Flare data connector. So all of these steps, actually require to run a server. So that is important to incentivize also executor. But some things also can go wrong in redemption process. So three of them, like main things, are that agent fails to pay XRP on XRP ledger. So basically, the agent doesn't send XRP because it has been selected by FAsset's system, and they don't pay in required time. So basically, then the redemption payment default event is being fired, and agent's collateral is being slashed. So basically, agent is using collateral, but user is not losing anything because they are paid using agent's collateral. So this system is over collateralized, so that means that user is safe in any case. Then the second is that redemption is not executed in time. So basically, no one calls execute redemption, either user, executor, or agent. And that means that redemption expires, and to be honest, nothing happens. Like the user must restart redemption process, and you can start again. So no funds are being lost in this case. But then there is a third one, which is incorrect XRP proof submitted. So in this case, the proof is not valid, and the redemption remains pending. So basically, it's not finished. In this case, it's it's waste gas, but it's not a lot. But still, someone needs to provide the proof. So basically, if agent they want to free up collateral, they can provide this proof. Or user, they really want their XRP back, they can monitor. Or executor in behalf of user also can monitor and see, okay, something was wrong. Okay, need to provide correct proof. So these are main errors or problems that can arise in redemption process. There are many events, and actually FAsset system relies heavily on events which are emitted in smart contracts. And here are three main events that you need to listen in redemption process. So first one is redemption requested. So that has important information about redemption, like who is redeemer, agent vault, or vaults. In this case, if it's multiple agents are responsible to redeem assets to the redeemer, then there is amount if it's split in different agents, and of course redemption ID. So that is also very important to have this ID, because later you can actually see the redemption status having this ID. Then redemption performed, so everything is good. So redemption has happened, XRP payment is proven, redeemer user got their funds back. So that is, finish line basically. Or redemption payment defaulted, then there is a problem, but there is problem for agent. There is no problem for user. User gets back their assets, but agent gets punished. So system takes collateral that they're backing and sends that to user to so the user wants to get back their XRP assets. And that is shortly it about the process. But let's go into code and let's put everything together. So all of this, I will make it a bit bigger. All of this is on our Dev Hub. So don't worry if you don't follow everything along. And also we are keeping this up to date. So yeah, and this time code will consist of smart contract and also script to call this smart contract. And that is baked in our Flare starter kit. Specifically in hardware starter kit is this. I'm taking this one. So here we have FAsset's redeem contract, and the main function is redeem. And what we are providing here is lots. Remember how many lots we want to redeem, and redeemer underlying address. So basically, where to send those funds on XRP ledger. And to process the redemption, we need to calculate how much FXRP we need. So basically, it gets lot size from settings. So that is being we're calling asset manager get settings, and from there we get what is the lot size. And by provided lots, okay, now we have the amount of how much FXRP redeemer wants to redeem. And next one is that we are using FAssets token, in this case FXRP, and we're getting the FXRP address, but that is out of scope for this example. But this function comes from inside this contract. So basically, it gets the asset manager and it asks what is the FAsset for this asset manager. So basically, it gives back the ERC20 standard token contract, so we can use the EIERC20 interface. And to redeem, we need to hold FAssets. So in this example, as it is being done using smart contract, then redeemer needs to send these tokens. So how we're doing that, before calling this one, we need to approve this amount using ERC20 standard. So I will not dig into deeper that, but we will check how it is from the script, how you invoke. And in the end, we're calling redeem function using asset manager. So we're providing how many lots, where to send the assets on XRP ledger. And in this case, we're not using executor, and that's why we're sending 0 address. What else interesting we have in this contract is we get the settings that will be used in the invoker script. So we're giving back the lot size and asset decimal, so we can calculate correctly the values. And then also we have function how to get redemption request info. And note in mind that this function returns the ongoing redemption request. And once redemption has been processed, then it actually fails. So basically, it removes from the memory. So don't worry if it fails. Then actually, most likely it is fine. Otherwise, it gives back the either it's ongoing or defaulted or other status. So now let's check out invoker script. Remember, this script is available in our starter kit on our GitHub, so don't worry, you don't need, copy paste from screen. So how we're interacting with the contract is that we have a couple of constants. In this case, we will redeem one lot, underlying address on XRP ledger. Then we get the contract artifacts, which is for FAssets, redeem for this contract that we just looked. And yeah, we're creating that new contract on chain, and we will be using Coston2 testnet in this case today. And yeah, so we'll get the address of the contract that we will, deploy. We will verify. So that's why we have very nice function to deploy and verify the contract. Next function is approve FAssets. So remember, the contract needs to hold a specific amount of FAssets so they can redeem. Because we're using this, relay contract between the user and FAssets system. So this is just example, and in real case scenarios in a production environment, you need to find your own way how you will deal with these assets. But as it is ERC20, it's well-known standard how you can build on top of this token standard. But in this case, user has to approve the amount to the contract, and amount we're calculating a bit later. So that's why we needed the settings function here in the contract. So that's how can we get the lot size and asset decimals. Here we have another helper function that is actually parsing events, and it parses out redemption request, redemption ticket created, redemption ticket updated. So that is important in this case. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And now we need to put everything together. So firstly, we are deploying and verifying the contract, the FAssets redeem contract that is between the user and FAssets system. Then we're getting the settings function that we looked into previously. So to get lot size, asset decimals, so we can calculate how much amount to redeem. And here is the calculation of FXRP. So basically, how much we need to approve, to be spending. And here we approve the contract. Hey, this FAssets redeem contract, you can take this amount of FXRP from me and spend in behalf of me of redemption process. And next one is that we finally call redeem. So we specify in this case lots, so that is being constant defined on top of this script. So that is one and underlying address. So in this case, we are redeeming one lot, and assets are being sent to this address. Then we parse out redemption events, and also here is for loop. So because we can get multiple redemption requested events, if it's split between multiple agents, if it's 100 or whatever significant amount, and yeah, we're then logging all the necessary information. So that is the script. So I will clear clear the terminal. In all the scripts in our starter kit, we have these copy pastable commands that you can copy paste in terminal once you have set all the necessary environment variables. And let's execute this one. So it starts the execution. Let's hope all the live demo gods are with us today. So it took a bit of time to verify the contract on chain, so we can, we can go over there. Then required amount was 10 FXRP. In base units, that is this one, because they are asset decimals. Then we're approving the contract to spend FXRP. Approval was completed, and actually then after we called redeem, that was transaction received. But that's not so user friendly to read. And here is information that we got back once we parse those events. So we can see that redemption requested result event result is this one. So the agent vault is what is responsible to send our assets. Redeemer is the address. Request ID, remember that is very important. So that is how you can get information about this specific redemption. Payment address and value, what is the fee, and so forth. And executor in this case is zero address. As I mentioned, we are not using in this case to make things a bit simpler. And executor fee is not set either because we're not using. And here is the information when we are getting back from redemption request info. So here we see that also additional information like what's the status, agent vault, and so forth. A bit more information that we got in event. So this is how we can follow along and how we can get follow how we once we get back our original assets. And pretty much that's it from short demo. In this demo, we are not going into providing the proof to make things simpler. Usually that is agents or executors behalf. So user doesn't need to worry about this step that much. But for developers, it's very important for you to know. So that's it from the live demo, and let's go back to the slides. So in this demo, we checked small contract that can act between user and FAsset system, that is redeeming FAssets for user. It was important that this contract needs to hold a specific amount of FXRP token that user is approving to spend, and they're calling redeem function using the asset manager with FAsset system. And also we looked into how we can see the events. So in short summary, in the end, a couple of things to take from this session is that FXRP is always can be redeemed one-to-one to original XRP. So that is being that's why redemption function is very important, that you can get back your original assets. And maybe one important thing is that the agent that you use to mint isn't specifically that one who will provide you back the F assets. I mean XRP, the underlying asset, because that is in ticketing system. So that's how FAsset system assigns either one agent or multiple agents to send your original assets on XRP ledger. So yeah, redemption is enables to convert back to XRP. Remember, most importantly, that is function redeem on asset manager. Then the agent must pay on underlying chain, and once that is correct, you can agent, executor, or you as a user, you can provide proof and finish the redemption. And yeah, redemption is always preserves the trust in this asset. There is no depegging, and also it's one-to-one asset as you had once you minted in the first place. And we have a couple of resources. We have minting apps, we have dexes, and most notably we have developer resources. You can read more about FAssets in general. There we have developer sample code, reference guides, all of that you can find in our developer hub. And if something is missing, please let us know. We will include or improve our guides, and we're looking, for feedback loop with our developers. So here you can take a picture of these QR codes, or Dev Hub, or Twitter, or Discord. So join one of these resources and ask any questions you have. And I have come to the end. So now we have Q&A section. And yeah, so and here I will leave this QR code. Please scan that one. You can take this quiz later. Maybe you need to go to our Dev Hub to find some of these answers to some of these questions. So now I will be open for your questions. Okay, I see Victor is
So,
back helping me as
yes,
well.
I am back. And listen, I'm checking right now on social media. We have three different channels, right? We have the main Flare account that is streaming this. We have the developers account, and we have YouTube as well. So I'm checking right now which possible questions we might have. Other than asking about the price of Flare, I don't see any like technical questions in relation to this. It seems that people are very, very excited about everything that's happening on Flare on sort of the retail price action side of things. This is, of course, not the purpose of this workshop. And I was wondering, Steps, if you got any questions in the M's or something that you might want to stress out, uh, given that we don't have any, let's say, relevant questions for now.
I think we can talk briefly about agents. I think one of the important questions during redemption is, what are risks for agents? And actually, agents are critical piece in FAsset system, so they need to be, constantly monitoring FAsset system and seeing, all these events if redemption has been assigned to you as agent, and you need to
Right.
execute. If you fail to do that, you are being punished, and that's why agents, it's important. But also you get a fee to do that as well. You're not, as kind of like a broker. You are, playing in this trustless system. You get the fee, but also you need to provide assets to the users. But for user, it's there's like double guarantee that you always get assets back. If agent doesn't pay in this specific time frame, then user's collateral is being used, and user gets back funds. And
Yeah.
also all these things are being verified using Flare data connector, which is basically all the transactions, all the actions in FAssets are verified. So you are not, taking it lightly, let's say like that. So you always need to verify these actions. You are not like, okay, that can be true. You need to go use a Flare data connector, verify that that payment has happened. Otherwise, it won't click the checkboxes.
Yeah, 100%. So I think we should really emphasize this, which is the whole system of F-assets currently is designed to protect users with the highest level of priority, right?
Hmm.
So I know that it has taken a little bit of time, but I think it's gonna be worth the wait. And for any developer that is really trying to tap into this new economy, really, that is going to take place on Flare, I would 100% recommend not only to tune into this workshop and watch the previous one, but also make sure to read the documentation. There is a lot of information about how F-assets work, agents, the whole system, details, and whatnot. So you really have all of the tools to get started and try to build solutions that utilize this new asset that we will have on Flare pretty soon. So, final question for you, Kristaps. Okay, I'm a developer. What's like your main recommendation in terms of maybe sort of mini roadmap, right? Because as we have seen on these workshops, there is a lot of information to digest. So maybe if I'm a new Web3 developer, it can really feel kind of overwhelming to get started. So what would be like the easiest way to get started with F assets, considering all the materials that we have available?
Yeah, after I answer this, we have a question for Nick as well. But before Nick, stay alert. We will answer your question. Uh, how to start? I would recommend read FAssets overview pages. In essence, it is quite simple. You go from XRP to Flare, or you go back. So those are
Right.
main two routes. But once if you are developing on top of FAssets, there are many moving parts. I would say, as a user, it's a bit simpler, but if you are developing, it's a bit complicated. But don't worry, it's not like higher math or that kind of thing. We have documented all the steps. We have guides for all the steps, and I will start with overview pages because we have diagrams there. We have diagram what is
Mm,
executor, what's the overall F assets. That would be thing. And I would start with simple things. Get, for instance, F asset settings. Okay, you can get that's the first interaction. You see what's the lot size, what are the parameters, and after that, I think simplest route is redeeming. So, for instance, you can use or one of the minting apps to get F assets, and then you can, for instance, play around with redemption function.
right.
Minting is a bit more complicated, but I will not go into details in this because we explained in previous webinar.
Explain.
But don't worry, it's not uh, very complicated. Just maybe it can take time to do all the steps. I would say, but don't worry. Even if you have problems, reach us out on Twitter, Discord, the Telegram, whatever it is. We will try to help. I personally can say that I will try to help you. If you have any problems with
100%.
development.
We do have people active on Discord, active on Telegram. You also have a sort of request form on the website, so you have all the means to ask us, and we will be more than happy to, get back to you as soon as possible. Now, let's get back to the questions from the audience because I'm seeing people that are asking from X, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, so multiple sources, and we want to make sure we cover the most important aspects. I know that Nick asked about redemption, right? So the question is, for every redemption, will a new contract need to be deployed?
No, this was example contract which could actually handle multiple redemptions. You could also possibly use redemption process without a contract. You can interact with asset manager, straight basically from any programming language, whether it be JavaScript or whatever it is. In this case, I just explained how you can interact using smart contract, and that goes a bit into Patrick's question: is Firelight going to handle this for users? I don't know specifically about their architecture, but it might be the case that they have the contract or some kind of real layer between FAssets and user, where the user won't interact straight with FAssets. So basically it's another building block, and that is, I think, counterpiece for Web3 applications, that things are being built on top of other things, and there you don't need to ask permission. Hey, I want to build on top of this system. You get the API reference and you just build, and that is, I think, the best thing in Web3 world. So yeah, shortly answering, you don't need to deploy new contract. You can actually do without a contract. You interacting with the chain, and I think executor role is something I would encourage to read more, or maybe we will have a webinar next month, maybe possibly, as I see that is one topic we would like to dig a bit deeper.
Could be a good question. And then there is another question from a LinkedIn user. What is the role of the liquidators?
Brief. Previous webinar we talked about liquidators, but shortly, liquidators are that is role in FAsset system that is holding FAssets and that can liquidate agents. So for instance, if agent is doing something bad, basically moving funds away from FAssets, wants to steal the funds, then liquidators come into place and they liquidate the agent, and the collateral is being locked before. So that's why the agent's collateral is being used to pay liquidators, and they basically buy back these assets, and everything is stable. So that is very crucial role in FAsset system, so they can exchange funds, but users they won't feel that basically. But so that is how FAssets can stabilize the system. And of course, liquidators buy this with a small discount, so that's why they are incentivized to do that as well, to help stabilize the system. So that is very important role, but we're not covering in the webinars, as it is more infrastructure
Right.
aspect, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Nick says, makes sense. Thanks. So I guess that we have covered all the questions from the audience. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I just want to send a final reminder that we have the Flirt for week until Friday. So tomorrow we have another live stream. It's going to be about real world assets on, on Flirt, and it's going to be an exciting topic. So I would encourage you to join. Each day we're doing this live stream at 1:30 p.m. UTC, except for today. We start half an hour earlier. But make sure you participate and get the benefits of all of this knowledge and this opportunity to ask questions live. Okay, Kristaps, I'm all set here. Is there anything else that we should share with our people here?
I mean, most notably, or DevHub, that's the first place where you can go and read about FAssets, what it is. All the links should be there, and we're always here to help. So that is, I think, the most important.
Absolutely. So as Christoph said, we put a lot of effort into our documentation, so make sure to check it out. And if you have questions, we're always there to answer. So thank you so much, Christoph. Thank you to the people in our audience. It was a wonderful workshop. Let's have some fun tomorrow. And for today, let's get some rest. See you later. Bye
All
bye.
right. See ya. Bye.